hop on the grind with OVERYT.
The man who controls the hype.
As promised, she is in studio. We are rolling le Mblee The Duurt. Can everybody in studio, man, make a little bit of noise for Mblee The Duurt?
Yes, sir.
Word up, word up, word up, word up. Well, like, you know, normally in radio and all that, there's this whole thing of like reading bios and all that stuff to like introduce your guest and all that. But then, like, I prefer to have like a real time like chat. You know what I'm saying? Like a real time conversation. Just to like first of all get to know you as an individual. Then we get to know you as a brand. And then we get to know you as, you know, an artist, so to speak. Now, so before we actually get into it now, who is Mblee The Duurt, and how and when did you get bitten by the hip hop?
Hey, what up, everybody listening? Shout out to OVERYT for having me in the building. It's about goddamn time, nigga. Shit.
Do you wanna put on your headphones?
Put my headsets
on. Yeah.
Back in the studio. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys. My name is Mblee The Duurt. If you don't know me, you know me now. Go get my tape. It's called Rodeo. It's hard as hell. And yeah, I've been doing music for, I think this is my 4th year now. Did The Hustle season 2. You know, took a little bit of a break. I do quite a lot of things besides just music. I obviously, you know, have a helping hand in Hip Hop 411, the amazing brand. I just started my own brand, which I'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, the hip hop bug bit me years ago. My parents have always been listening to like hip hop. Like today 5K was bumping 50 Cent, like Curtis, and it took me back to like my dad actually used to bump that shit, and I was listening to how graphic it actually was, because I'm older now and I can understand what he's saying. But yeah, my parents have always just been listening to hip hop, Tupac. My mom bumped Tupac, Biggie. So that sound always, like, you know, resonated to me. And then obviously as I grew up, the environment around me, it sort of like it called me, and I've just been I've been into hip hop since Masters of Rhythm, since 18. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm a youngin, but I was definitely within those spaces. Club. Right, Loz?
Shout out
but
to
I was fucking crawling at that stage of the game. But like it's all I've known, and I love it. Like, yo, you know, people will say hip hop saved my life or some dumb shit like that. It's a real thing. Like, for real, like, I don't even know who I'd be. Like, I wouldn't even have this energy or this character if I was not brought. I don't even know. I can't even fathom the thought. Like
when I talk to you now, like you're a very smart woman and all that. You know what I mean. So I can picture you on some, like, you know, being like a lawyer / accountant.
You know, if I had the energy, I probably would. I probably would. Like, but I just couldn't bear the fact of like sitting, learning, reading, and not feed soul, because, you know, time is of the essence. People are dying at 20 years old. I lost my sister, she was 20 years old. People are dying at 22. Like, I don't have time to be studying for 5 years to do something that may not even be a job in 10 years. You understand what I'm saying? So rather just do what makes you happy in that moment and hope that, you know, you can eat off of it. That's what I believe.
And in terms of you know, that in particular, right? So like, you are a very busy lady, right? So
Indeed.
like what other like things do you do on the side, just so we can, you know, bring the paper in?
Okay, so obviously, if you guys don't know Hip Hop 411, go follow it on social media. We are a events media publication. We basically facilitate a platform for established artists and for upcoming artists. We have a radio show, we have a media channel, we do TV, online TV, we do battles, we do events. We literally, like, we facilitate platforms for people, and, you know, that's part of our outreach it's our CSI program, you know, all rounding. And then I have a company that I recently just started. It's called PuggedIn Social Media Agency, and basically what we do is we're an amplification agency. So for brands or artists who want to trend on their release dates, or brands who need someone to run their social media to create content, Hip Hop 411 and PuggedIn will join in. We'll shoot, we'll use the content, and we'll ultimately give you an amazing page. And yeah, what else do I do besides from that?
Yeah, that's dope, yo. Like, and that's also like next level, and you know, looking into the future,
Yes.
because now that's where like the world is going.
Exactly, because I think COVID hit us in a way where, as 411, we were like, okay, we can't do hip hop events now. We can't do anything. So I thought to myself, okay, how can I develop something that can still help me eat, even if we're in a global pandemic? Because whether we're in a global pandemic, brands still need to continue to sell their products. You know, you still need to promote your show.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so I just found a middle ground between, okay, what's heading into the future, which everything digital is literally going to be our future, and it's going to be our future for the next 100 years. So I'm just hopping onto that wave before everyone else catches on.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we're about to just get to know you more and all that stuff now. Like I'm still like caught up in that whole wave of like you talking about what you're doing now. Can we talk about Pina Mbaranke, Real Ish though?
Okay.
Like I love that song actually.
Real shit though. You know, as we said, we just did the tape in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're looking at, obviously you have to structure it out, and we're like, okay, we're gonna give you my sound is like very like melodic and not really necessarily bars. I'm trying to be more of an artist than just a rapper. And we just had to give that joint where we're like just speaking real shit. You know, we're rapping on some real shit, but in my own effective way, just speaking about my experiences in the industry and how I'm having a conversation with myself on some real shit. Like, okay, these are your flaws, these are your pros. How are we gonna navigate the shit? You know? So yeah, I hope you guys fuck with it. Real shit though.
Okay, now on that note, now at the time now at exactly 40 minutes past the hour of 9 p.m. This is Hip Hop on the Grind. Chillingly Mblee The Duurt for Rap to Skill. Real ish though. Time right now at exactly 17 minutes past the hour of 9 p.m. You know, we're still getting used to that whole, you know, late time slot, so to speak, but then it's still, you know, those hip-hop hours, still revolutionary times and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
so
hip-hop hours, nigga.
These are like hip-hop hours,
Literally,
right?
these are like season scoop hours, dog. You know, remember those days? Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's such an L, because we are finally home from our long day, and we're chilling in bed, and we're like online watching this live stream. Mblee The Duurt is on Massiv Metro, and you know, it's a vibe. It's a good thing too. So shout out to you.
Now, word is born, yo. Can we talk about like that exactly? The hip hop space. Like, how do you see the game like currently, and you know, where do you think it's going based on what are we currently seeing?
Ish, dog, the game is in a really weird position right now.
How weird?
And it's in a sense of like, you have to ask that question, and it depends on who is asking me that question. If you ask me this question, I'm thinking, okay, OVERYT, listening to the backtrack that's playing here, then hip hop is definitely going in the opposite direction of this backtrack. But that power is in our hands. Honestly, it's in Hip Hop 411's hands. It's in the type of talent that Hip Hop 411 brings to the show. But the reality is that hip hop is going into a different direction to what anybody could have imagined. It's going to a Lucas Rap's direction. It's going into Mblee The Duurt direction. It's going into a direction that is not so much focused on the bars and not so much focused on, like, we're creating our own style of what hip hop is, you know. And yeah, I think that's what's trending at the moment. Everybody having their own unique style of it, and still including those elements of hip hop. So we as heads who enjoy the backtrack need to become open-minded to the fact that time is moving, sounds are moving. We are becoming influenced by more than just we're becoming influenced by so much more that it's inevitable for our music to be different, but it's still hip-hop. It still has elements of it. So we need to accept change, and we need to be a part of the change.
Exactly. I used to always have this chat with like former co-host Balloon Ketsang with like this thing called real hip hop, so to speak, right? And it's obviously this backtrack hip hop versus like the new wave of which you're talking about, right? And through this journey, so to speak, like I had this rigid concept of hip hop should be like this, and then you also realize through your research and all that like there was commercial hip. So like when Das Effects was talking about that diggity whatever, right? You could basically put that in the same category as like your Migos and all that
at the time.
At the time, right? So like I've come to, like you're saying, we gotta open up our minds, right?
Definitely.
And also like accept that everything is hip hop. There's no like fake hip hop.
Yes, there's no fake.
It's just how one chooses to express themselves, and like hip hop in itself always reveals who you truly are.
Yeah, I literally love what you say. How those guys at one point were the Migos of today. Migos to the kids. Migos is also becoming like this backtrack. You know. 50 Cent is old school. Old school now. Like it's crazy. So yeah, man. Like you just have to move. Otherwise you'll get left behind. Otherwise you'll be frustrated. You won't be able to go anywhere. You'll be upset every time some new kid is performing. When someone is actually just talented, dude, and you know, times are moving. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So now let's talk about like your time right now, which is the Rodeo EP. You know? Let's talk about like the sound. Let's talk about like the lyrical content. Let's talk about the concept behind Rodeo. So like, how did the concept come about?
Okay, yeah. So the concept was, it's the inspiration rather started out from, I've always been intending to release a project this year. But I think there's just so much things that I'm doing that I never really focused my energy onto doing that, honestly. So what happened is, and I'm actually being honest with myself. I am, hey? So my little sister passed away and I was so devastated. I'm still so devastated. And I needed some way to channel that energy, honestly. So I was like, I actually just want to fucking record music because I don't know what to do with myself. And what made it worse is that my little sister was like my biggest fan. Every time I record a song, I'd send it to her, be like, what do you think? Like she's a 2000, she was 20. So I was, she'd always be like my person to be like, dude, how's this? Is it hard? Yeah, she'd know the words before it even dropped. I was like, I need to pay homage. So let me do something, you know. So shout out to Lwazi, you know, he like drove the wheel. He was like, dude, let's do this. Brought Dutch and Riley to the crib, you know, where we do our hip hop forum and shit. And he was like, here are the guys here. They're gonna be here for the next 2 months. Just whenever you feel inspired, go record some music and we're gonna drop this tape. We're literally gonna do it and it's gonna be in memory of her, you know. And then so yeah, obviously as I was making the music, Dutch playing me the beats, you know, that's hard. The gents are fire. They are fire. The beats that you hear here are nothing compared to what they have, right?
In the vault.
Yo, these niggas are crazy. They're so talented. Like shout out to Dutch and Riley. And yo, eventually the sound of the EP molded itself. And then I decided to I struggled to find a name, honestly. Like until maybe the last week. I think I sent 5K the name. He had already did the thing with no name. And I was like, okay, you know what? Rodeo just came to me and I was like, you know what, Rodeo, because it reminds me of like the last rodeo, like, you know, that experience, like, you know, the whole EP is an experience, like from the first track, like like the sounds, like, you know, it's just gave me like a rodeo feeling, like, you know, where you can associate the EP with an experience, you know. So Rodeo stuck to me. I don't want it to be so cliche, like call it Nolwazi or whatever. I don't want it to be that would have been not sentimental enough. So called it Rodeo because at the end of the day we want to sell records and we want to resonate to the masses and we want it to be cool, dude. Like Rodeo is a cool name, you know. And following my EP Mblee The Duurt, which was self-titled, my that was my first song. Go get it, it's on SoundCloud. You know, you gotta start somewhere. I had to grow and become a full-fledged product.
Okay, so who was Mblee The Duurt before Mblee The Duurt?
Yo, Mblee The Duurt. I'm still the same Mblee The Duurt, but I I didn't know what I knew now, and I had to experience a lot of things. I had to experience the game. I had to figure out who I am, because even when I didn't be the Dirt, I honestly hadn't found my sound. But by the time I was doing Rodeo, I was sure. I was like, I know my sound. I know that my voice sounds good when I'm doing this. I know that, I know what I want to speak about lyrically. Oh, and to answer your question, my content is always real, because I find it very difficult to write about something that I don't know. If I know something, like it's so easy for me to write the bars for the track. But if and I'm lying, and I'm lying, then like it doesn't hit. So I always like speak the truth. Like people don't take the time to actually listen to what people say in music, and it's very important, because I always say I'm always spitting facts. I'm saying I'm speaking about my ways. I'm speaking about so many flaws about myself that I'm acknowledging, so that if the next person is trying to hurt me with that, nah, it doesn't hurt, baby. I know what the fuck going on.
And like, battle rap and all that, so to speak.
You
know
see,
what I mean?
and I'm in the battle rap scene,
so you know how to like bounce back.
You have to know how to bounce back. That's real. So yeah, like lyrical content is important, because I always speak about thick women, because those are people that we don't speak for. They need to, like, when I step into a room and I'm performing, women love my music, because I'm speaking about things that are like true to them, like experiencing niggas, buying them shit, like that stuff that like was real shit, for women, like the bad, the good, like the pain, like. So I really urge people to like listen to musicians. If you're gonna bump an album, listen to what they're saying. They speaking out. So yeah.
No, word is born, man. And as we wrap up, I actually feel like we should be like chatting for like longer and all that now. But as we wrap up now, what's your message of hope to like the upcoming artists out there, that's trying to do their thing, and just like give us strength, yo.
Dude, I'm still an upcoming artist. And you know what? You'll always be an upcoming artist somewhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I've realized. Like, you always be an upcoming artist in somewhere in the world. And right now, we just come from an event with like Kuli Chana and like all these people, and I'm always
like
in those
big
spaces.
Announcement.
But the people that are in those spaces, like I realize that I know most of these like A&R people who work at these record labels. But none of them will ever be like, you know what? We can make you a star, or whatever you think. But if you look at the people that they are signing, it's really, really shocking. So it's like you're always, what I can say to these people is that, dude, just push your shit, do your music, release your content, and who knows, maybe your crowd is not even in South Africa. South Africans only believe in you when other people are believing in you. So just keep pushing your craft and make sure that people hear it. Bombard them on WhatsApp, send them your link, send it to everybody. If you meet someone, be like, dude, get my tape. Like that's exactly what you should do. Just keep pushing yourself, because not everyone is gonna have that person who's gonna go out of their way to make sure that they pop off. So that's what I gotta say.
Hip hop on the grind with OVERYT.
The man who